Thanks for logging on to House of Chappelle TV. I am Rico Chappelle, CEO of the legendary House of Chappelle. In the past 20 years, I've been traveling all over the world with my clients such as Tony Braxton, Candy Bird, Kelly Rowland, and a list of celebrities that I can't even count. And now I'm about to share the secret with you on a web series I called So Like a Pro. Each week I'll teach you a tutorial on a step-by-step rule of how I make anything from a fabulous evening gown to home decor and furnishings, all on a dime. This is So Like a Pro. Welcome to House of Chappelle TV. I am Rico Chappelle, and you just tuned in with a conversation with my father, and his wonderful name is Rhett Allen Chappelle, or Chapple. Hey, Dad.
Hey, son.
So, that's his professional voice. You don't forget to project, too. So tell the people, the world about the name, because I remember growing up and I was answering to both Chapple and Chappelle.
Well, you can pronounce it either way. For me, myself, I like the chapel because I'm like a priest or something. You know what I mean? So now Chappelle, that fits my son in his category of designing. But me, I'm much of a biblical type person. So chapel it keeps me focused on who I am and what I am and what I'm doing here on this planet.
I never looked at it that way. I never really. So, do you want to tell them about the biblical part of why you said that?
Because the pronunciation of it, the songs that you hear, I'm going to the chapel.
Right.
Let's go to the chapel and get married. These things that everybody talk about every day, and it makes me think of that. But technically speaking, you can be called also another last name.
So I remember you telling me and my brother a story about our last name don't supposed to be Chapple or Chappelle.
Your last name's supposed to be. We really are Bailey.
Okay, and why is that?
Yeah, because my father was real father name was Bailey.
Okay.
And but because back in the day, in the early 60s, it was kind of like wasn't too cool for a lady, for any woman to have a baby.
So are you saying Grandma was a hoe?
Yeah, high class hoe.
Bless her soul.
You know what I'm saying? So your name should be Bailey. That's what that's what you are. But who really actually give a damn?
Right. I think I love Chappelle because when I went to college, like I said, I answered to both growing up.
Yeah.
And when I went to college, they said, you need to pick one. This is your future. And I said, this is before I even knew I wanted to be into fashion.
Yes.
And I was like, I like Chappelle because it has a ring to it, And I took French in high school. I said, it sounds kind of French. So I like Chappelle, and I stuck with Chappelle. And then next thing you know, Rico Chappelle was created, and the House of Chappelle was created. Yeah. And that was pretty much it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to the good stuff because I had my 40th birthday last year, and a lot of my friends was just so amazed that my dad was supporting me. And when I was little, he always used to sing "One in a Million," and we had karaoke, and he sung "One in a Million." He sat on my lap, and a lot of my friends were so amazed that I had a dad that supported his grown adult gay son. It blew their mind away, and everybody fell in love with you and more in love with me because of the relationship that we had. So do you want to tell the story, like how you found out?
Well, you have to understand something. News travel, but you have to understand another thing. I'm a man of principles, and I love you. You're my son. Right. And to each his own. These things are for anyone to realize that to each his own.
Right.
Live and let live. Instead of be quiet and mind thine own business. I don't give a damn what you do or who you want to be. You mine. to the day you die.
Right.
You understand that nothing that you do could never stop the love that I have for you.
Right.
But
Right.
what you do is your business, not mine.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? People should realize that all around the world,
Right.
people can get along much better if they would understand these concepts, these precepts,
Right.
for God. So it doesn't
So
bother me not one bit. And when I heard it,
who you hear from first?
well, you know who it was.
Oh well, he don't want to say. It was my
It was
brother.
your brother, of
Yeah, it was.
course.
It was. It was my brother.
Paul
My
Harvey the third,
yeah.
Paul Revere, the
um.
news carrier. Yeah. But,
So it pretty much. My brother got out of prison, and he moved in with me because he wanted to get this whole life straight or whatever. And at the time, I had a boyfriend that used to come visit, and I introduced my brother to this is my boyfriend XYZ, and he seemed okay and normal with it. And I remember the phone call. I remember the phone call. You was just like, I'm just gonna go ahead. It's not. I just to let you know, I don't care. And your brother told me, and I was nervous because I felt it was coming. And when you told me that you didn't give a,
no.
he told me he didn't give a fuck. you know, and
No.
but I really, and I think literally that day, Dad, I'm gonna be honest. I think you became my best friend. Um, and even when I moved to LA and moved back, and when other family members didn't support me, like you always had my back, and I really appreciate it. And I hope I don't even tear up. But I always wanted to thank you publicly because I don't think I never give you really enough credit. And I got to tell y'all something about my dad, and for you to know, and that's one of the reasons I brought him here because for you to know more about me and the things that I do and how I react the way the things I act it's like I'm coming straight from my dad. It's straight from the hip, and I think one of the things that I applaud you on giving me my work ethic. First business at 7 years old. I was talking to you early at the barbershop about, and like today was the first time us going to the barbershop together.
Yeah.
And so, this is celebrating his birthday, but I always wanted to have memories like that, because when we grew up, my mom and my pops, they split when I was 3, but he was always there. And we talked about a situation on the barbershop, like he went through a dark time to where he was on drugs. I ain't know my dad was on drugs. And I just thought that you was out kicking it and partying hard and came back and borrowed some money from me because we walked around at 11 and 12 with $200 sitting on the dresser, me and my brother. And, you want to talk about that? Because I'm talking too much.
Well, no, it's a phase that a lot of black Americans went through. It's something that came into the population and swept the whole black population, a lot of whites off their feet. Either some died in it, some still in it,
And
some came out of it. It's nothing but another way of form to get rid of the black people. And ignorancy is no excuse. Once you know and realize what it's doing to you, you can see what it does, what it has done to the matter of fact, the population, the communities, families has been broken up.
so what made you get off?
Well, simple. Hell, I wasn't born with it. Theologist, son. I'm a priest, an ambassador, a Christian warrior. That is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Enough is enough. When you come to the end of your rope and say enough is enough, that's it.
Right.
You get back into your normal way of life, living again. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't realize that's something is of unseen forces. It's darkness, wickedness in high places. This is real. Demons actually literally keep you in that bracket. So it takes truly the word of God to bring an individual truly out of it, to have a solid foundation, to actually go through it and come out of it. I don't take any credit for myself. I give the credit to God. The word of God is truly alive and powerful. And that's the only way anyone can, all these organizations that they have, all these rehab places they have, baloney, ain't gonna cut it. You must cut into the soul of an individual. And that's the only thing can does do that is the word of God. Other
Right.
than that, all the rest of the things you see on TV is malarkey. Ludicrous. It ain't gonna work. People that's off into it, they get in and get out of it, back in it for 5 months, they back out there again. Yeah. You need a true solid foundation. That is the word of God on a daily basis. Other than that, one cannot fight the unseen forces.
Right, right, right. So in the early years, I lived in the projects, but we had a good example of my dad owned his own nightclub, my grandmother and grandfather owned a store, my grandmother in South Carolina owned her own stores. Pretty much everybody in our family was kind of well to do and
Yeah.
we had a great family. And then when I moved out the projects, that's when my mom hit really kind of rock bottom with drugs. And my dad used to pretty much pick me and my brother up to take us to work. So we still had money in our pockets. And then pretty much from the, oh gosh, from the sixth to the, yeah, into the 11th grade, I went from house to house, different family members. And I remember this one particular time, I'll never forget it because I flunked the sixth grade
Yeah.
and I didn't know how to study. I couldn't comprehend, and and my dad was like, by this time I was staying with my dad, and I was like, I remember you talking to Jerry Red, your best friend. I was like, Dad, I can't get it. And do you remember what you told me? What you had me do?
I think that I think I whooped your ass. I think
No,
no.
you no, you did
No, I
no.
never tell me whoop your ass. It was, I don't know. One time whooped me because your grades was bad. I said Rico.
No, I'm gonna
What
have to
time was
correct. I'm
it?
gonna have to correct you. I'm gonna have to correct you on
What?
this.
What?
So look, we're gonna edit that part out.
Okay, go ahead.
We you told me you had me lick through the back of the chapter and read everything in the back of the chapter
Oh,
and the
okay.
pop quiz, and then I was able to comprehend
Oh yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that, Rico. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I remember that very
And
well.
actually, speaking of whoopings, we can keep that on in there. But speaking of whoopings, actually, Dad, you never, I never gave you a reason to whoop me.
No, one time.
The one time that you hit me, it wasn't even it
No,
wasn't
your
even,
grades.
no, it wasn't grades. It was yeah, his
Your
ex
grades.
girlfriend lied on me.
Yeah, that was another time. I'm talking about the time
No,
when you were small.
you ain't
That was
never.
the second whooping, but the first time,
No, that
remember
was
your
Rhett.
grades was bad.
That was
One of
that
y'all.
was Rhett.
Okay.
You never touch him.
But then I told you, then I said, Rico, you can win that. You was going into a talent show. I said, son, you just like Michael Jackson. He grew up in Indiana on beans and rice.
Right.
He was a poor ass nigga. Like we was poor at one time. I said had talent. He has talent. I
Right.
said, son, you have the same talent that Michael Jackson
Right.
have.
That was my second year in the sixth grade
Yeah,
when I stayed with you.
I think you won.
Yeah, I won.
You
Yeah,
won it.
I
Yeah,
won,
yeah, you
and that
won
was
it.
the kind of my introduction in show business.
Yeah,
But as
yeah.
far as you never. Rhett was which is my brother is a junior. Rhett was the one that would push buttons with my dad. I never got. Only time I got touched is when his girlfriend lied on me,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then she told me, she said that only reason I did it is because my dad always looked at me as the goody two shoes, and that was the situation. I remember one year I was a senior in high school, and this was before I even ever thought about boys or anything like that. You was dating Betty at the time, and you brought me in, was just like, son, are you gay? And I was like, what the hell this come from? I was like, what did it? Because I never, and like you've seen me deal with girls. He's walked in and caught me dealing with girls before,
Yeah.
and I'm like, where did this come from? But she was trying. Yeah, I felt like whoever you dated except Alberta. This is why I respect Alberta so much. I felt that they always tried to do me in when it came to us being so close and so tight. It seemed like they tried
Okay.
to
Yeah.
wedge themselves between us, and it never worked.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons. And Alberta is his current. To me, I call her, his wife, because they've been together for so long.
Yeah.
And but she's never tried to come between us. And
Right.
even on Mother's Day, I called her and I was like, "Thank you for when I was in LA." Because I'm telling you, it was hard as hell. And he would call me and be like, "How much money you need for rent this month?" And Dad, I need 1,000. He was like, "Oh, okay. But when you coming home?" So I really appreciate her for that, and as well, you helping me um, uh, in LA. So you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I always thought of myself being a favorite child, and I know we can't talk about that because they're gonna look at
Oh
this.
God, Rico,
I
don't start a
got
war.
so like not necessarily comparing. You know what? I will tell you this: when you discovered that I was gay, um, you told me this. You said one of the things that I like about you that you've always done. You listen to me outside of the other children because I said, Dad, I want to have kids. And I know I talk about that all the time on my YouTube channel. I said, Dad, I want to have kids, and you simply told me you was just like, look, you always listen to what I said do. You're gonna be a good father, and it just kind of went on. We just started talking about whatever,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's that I will say this again that, and I tell people when I tell people that you're my best friend because I have so many. I met a guy just I met a guy a couple of weeks ago, but it was a guy about a month ago here in Atlanta when he told his mom and dad that he was gay, they really just cut him off completely,
What?
and he just killed
Oh
himself.
God.
After about 15 years, he got on drugs real bad. He ended up contracting HIV, and he hung himself in uh, the doorway of their house. So
Oh
when
my
they opened
God.
the door, they saw his dead body in the house. So I really appreciate you just sticking by my side, just giving me advice, um, and even from your good and your bad, even from your bad, you taught me like I won't try drugs. I won't put myself in a crazy situation to where, like some of our other family members have, because we got some crazy ones.
Yeah.
And and I know a lot of family members may think I'm just like, oh, you think you're bougie, you think you're this, but I just don't want to be around any kind of negative.
I understand.
Yeah, really.
What you situation, Rico, you're pressing on in life, moving on to higher grounds. That's what everyone should look at life. You look back at nothing. There's nothing back there for you. Press on each day of your life to higher ground, to higher
Right.
purposes in life. You see, it makes life sweet for you and anyone. Don't look back for nothing. There's nothing back there for you, no one.
Right.
Always moving forward.
Right.
Always going forward. Yeah, don't look back for nothing. There's nothing back there for you, baby. In all families, there should be divisions in families, in all walks of life, in every family, because Jesus Christ said so. There should be brothers against brothers, sisters against sisters, mother against mothers, and so on and so forth. I peep, to answer your question, I peep, realize I watched Rico as a little. I seen he had a lot of me. He had a lot of me in him. You know, and I know that he would excel in life. You understand what I'm
He
saying?
loves saying that. You like me and your brother
Yeah,
like your mama.
yeah, it's true. That's the truth. And it's like they like night and day. That's just how. That's just life. That's just how it is. Some people can't accept the fact that there's division in the family. Some people go crazy. Some parents can't accept the fact that one of their children will kill them
Right, right,
when
right.
they get down to it. It's nothing new under the sun from the beginning of time, from Cain to Abel. It goes on right today, but some parents can't digest it.
Right.
Some brothers can't digest it, but that's life. Know, knowing this can save you a lot of heartache and a lot of problems down the road. It's
Right,
just
right.
it is what it is.
Right.
That's how things is set up, and people try to change it, but you can't change it. I live a life of objectivity, not subjectivity. I'm not emotional. You know,
You see what he just said. He's not emotional.
uh,
So because a lot of people was like, you act like you just don't care. It's not that I don't care.
just not
I'm just
emotional.
not. I'm
Yeah,
just not.
give
And
a life of objectivity.
yeah, I'm just it's. I am a realist. If
Yeah.
it's black and white. It's we under his house. It was we didn't have to lie. We never had to fake the funk. um, babe, son, if you're under instinct, go wash your go wash your ass. It was no, did you take a bath today? It was, well, maybe you should go put on. It was nothing sugar coated, and it was never rude, and it was never nasty. It was just was what it was.
Exactly.
Your room look a mess. Go clean it up.
Yeah.
Okay. It was nothing. It was no yelling. He didn't yell at me. He didn't. It was, and a lot. I get a lot of flack from that. I get a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
flack from that. Like
Really?
you act like you just don't care, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, it just
It's in you, part of your makeup, man. It's part of your personality. You know, what makes people different is their personality. In essence, we all are the same. We have the same makeup, a conscious, subconscious, emotions, you know. We all are the same in the essence of our soul, which is a mere immaterial structure that's located behind our cranium, you know.
right,
And we have our personality, like he make like chocolate, I make like vanilla, but even people mates, they identical, right man, right woman. People are searching for their mate, soul mate, and the simplicity. Your right mate is just like you. See, and
right,
you are part of me. See, I know you're part of me because you're just like me. Even your opposite sex is just like you. Because you come from your flesh, bone your bone, rib your rib. That's why
right,
you have so many divorces today, because people are mismatched.
right,
They
right,
haven't taken time out to see they are compatible in any kind of form or fashion. And you have a lot of suicide cases today because of that. People can't understand, and their emotions dictate their mentality, and they want to commit suicide. I
right.
need help. I got to have some kind of medicine, something, and they just made the wrong choices because they didn't have the knowledge on that given situation.
Right, right. Like I said before, I think this conversation, because everyone always question like, how do I think and where do my business uh where did your business, like my dad runs a landscaping company, and I remember from 11 years old, but I think he started before then. And
Yes,
where did your whole business, whole thing, working for yourself, and because you own nightclubs,
I was when I was a
the party
kid.
tender lounge. Like
Yes.
my dad is being real serious right now because he uses silly as hell. He used to own the party tender lounge on Main Street, and it was one of the hottest nightclubs in Chattanooga at one point. And he used to close the night with him and his band. Because I
Yeah.
remember you being there while y'all rehearsed.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I was young, I was like a Cinderella, you know, by me being like my life, my young life before you were born was pretty much so obscured. While the other children played, I was coerced against my volition to work.
Okay.
So while other kids went to the games and this, by me being a black sheep,
And why were you the black sheep?
because I had a different daddy.
Okay, okay.
My daddy, like I told you, my father was named Bailey.
Right.
You know, I was just like him, so they would make me tend to the store. I was about 8, 9 years old working.
Oh, and that was D&D across the street
That
from.
was that
Okay.
was that was the money with the money that they started the store with for me.
Okay.
It was poor, but I got hit by a truck, and I lived, and they got a lot of money from it. So this business
Oh.
started. So they took my money and started a business, and they made me work the store
Oh
while
wow.
other kids played. So
Cause you
my
were the
Cinderella.
oldest. You was the
No,
oldest, second
not
to
the
the oldest.
oldest. I was third to the oldest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so who was before you?
Sharon, then Johnny. You
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, and but because of who my father
Okay.
was,
Hold up. I'm lost now, Dad. How many
yeah,
kids did Grandmama have?
7 of us.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I had to work. You see, so they put that I was, like I say, I was coerced in it, but I'm like Conan the Barbarian. You seen that picture where this man was pushing this thing, the only one pushing it by itself.
Right, right,
So I was in that aspect. I had to grind, and a lot of my childhood was taken from me because I had to work, while
right,
other kids played. But at the same time, he instilled in me a work ethic, so that I instilled in you.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where my work ethic come from. I was young, so we was I learned to be self-employed.
Okay.
Yeah, because I come from a self-employed family. When I was a
And,
kid, I was like coerced against my will because I wanted to collect the rest of the children.
right,
I had
right,
to go
right.
work. See, it was right out of school.
And I explain people try to explain that to people. I'm like, it was like, where did you get this? I'm like, it's just in my DNA from what
Yeah,
I remember
from me.
from
Yeah,
my dad to even my mom to
yeah.
my grandmas on both sides and my granddads. Everybody ran their business.
Yeah, and plus before the business thing, hustling was in my blood. Pimping, selling drugs. Even before I
Right.
became legal, I stopped being illegal, became
So I
legal.
gotta ask you, how many hoes did you have when you was pimping?
But it was international. I was international. I was like a professional pimp. I sent women around the world.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was really tough than Iceberg Slim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't. I just didn't get recognized.
And see,
You know,
I
I,
heard about it, and but I never heard it from his mouth.
yes, I was very professional, and I never would touch any of my women. I never would shit in my own sandbox. So
Right,
all my
right,
women
right,
would just lavish over me like kittens.
right,
And I was
right.
saying, I was saying, it was professional women.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, on that echelon, I was
Right,
able
right,
to function around the world because I would meet people from around the world.
right.
I
Okay.
was able to send them.
So see, they didn't have back
So
page and
escort
Craigslist.
service, I was one of the reasons escort services started.
Right.
Yeah, a real professional
Oh
pimping.
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Cool. Cool.
Michaels started Michaels years ago.
So Michael's was
Cow Palace. That
Michael's
was a
was a
place where the
restaurant,
elite
the
meet.
elite restaurant. I remember
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I
Organized
was
crime when Governor Blanton was there, all the illegal
the mafia. I remember you telling me about the
mafia, yeah,
mafia.
all that,
So
everything.
when I was growing up, my dad had a picture from a magazine ad from Michael's, and I thought it was. I thought my dad was like Superman on this picture because he was in a tuxedo with a black bow tie and a red cummerbund, and he was this white lady was getting out of the car, this long stretch limo, and I was like, damn, that's my daddy.
Yeah,
That was a dope
yeah.
picture. That was a dope picture. I really
And then I brought the sweetness of service into this town. There was they took me to Knoxville to train waiters and waitresses how to wait on people, and you would bring out a cigarette, and I would train the busboys and waiters to light people's cigarettes and pour
right.
their water. It was a consistency thing going on. I used to get paid big money for being
I remember
consistent.
when you
And that's why I met a lot of very powerful, influential people
so was
from
I
around the
born
world.
in?
You was a child then.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I met a lot of very important people, influential people around the world. Kings and queens. I mean, I've met all kinds of people. I had a
So
portfolio book, but this friend of mine took it and burnt it. I could have went anywhere in the world.
I remember you telling me growing up. You said, "Don't ever be afraid of any celebrity because they eat, they shit, and they piss just like
Yes,
you."
just
Michael
like you.
Jackson,
All of them.
and I remember
Yeah,
working with Tony Braxton.
yeah.
She was just a regular
Didn't I
person,
tell you?
and I
Yeah.
think that's what kept me working with still working with so many
Yeah,
celebrities because
yeah,
I don't treat them
yeah.
like fans. Treat them like regular
They
people.
love that.
Sit down and let
They
me do what I gotta
love
do.
that. They
Yeah,
love that. They hate to be bombarded with that kills them. That
right,
they are human beings. They people, man. They don't want to be smothered like that. They don't
right,
want that. They like when you treat them like that, an individual. They like you more.
right.
They appreciate and respect you more. Cause I've been around so many of them.
So it was an incident to where when I went to college and I was majoring in engineering, and the family was just so like crazy, crazy. And it's funny because my dad do this to me still to this day. Um, I had just got into making clothes, and I didn't call my dad for months and ask for no money. And he said, Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell the story. You can just go ahead and interject." And he was like, "Son, what you doing?" And I think reason why you asked me because my brother ended up selling drugs or something like that. So I think he was making sure I wasn't getting no illegal activity. He said, "What you doing?" I just kind of paused, and I said, "Dad, I'm sewing. I'm making money."
Yeah, yeah.
What was your whole kind of thought process?
You making money. You working.
Yeah,
It's an enterprise. Name my business for enterprise. Anybody can get rich if they so choose to get rich. It's all based on choice.
right,
You can go as high as you want to go. This is America, home and brave land of the free. Mexicans realize that they come here getting paid. And they should have
right,
the same concept that they have. It's the land of the brave, home of the free. You can get rich. This is for enterprise. You can't blame anyone that's for the predicament that you in but yourself.
right, right.
Yeah,
And it was the great part. I told him, about the whole situation and so on, and out of all the family members, him and my cousin, which is who I had my studio with, they was the main supporters because people were so. I think black people get caught up in their head. You want to be a doctor, lawyer,
yeah.
and at the end of the day, I've probably been one of the most successful people as far as making money outside of my daddy in the family. You know. So once again, I want to thank you, Pops, my best friend. I absolutely. I think as I've gotten older, I think my love for you has changed from when I was a child. It's just a different feeling. It's just like that's my pops. I see you doing stuff. Sometimes I answer the phone and I say, "Hello," and I said, "Damn, I sound like my daddy." And it's just certain, and even like sit here with my legs crossed,
Yeah.
and when people be like, "Don't sit with your legs like that," I be like, "My dad sit like this. He's always
Yeah.
held. He would get in the chair in the morning, listen
Yeah.
to his doctorate, drink his
Yeah.
coffee, and sit like this." Like I remember all that stuff, and it's just like and when I look in when the mirror and we just the same eyes, the
Yeah.
same nose, and I'm like, damn, it's my daddy.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you are. I trust you. I love you to death, and I really appreciate you sticking by me from the highs and the lows
Of
because it's a
course.
difference. When I made all the money, when I lost all the money, and I'm making it again, my father has been the exact same person, and I really appreciate that, and I love you to death. Thank you guys for um, uh, watching me introduce my father to you guys, the rest of the world, and I hope you like, you subscribe, and you share this video as much as you possibly can because I think a lot of young black gay men around the world need to see, and I think a lot of fathers, black fathers around the world to see that it's really okay. Like we do manly shit together. Like it's like a lot, and I did a post on Instagram to where I said one of the things that my father taught me, you know, uh, he taught me to work something about working hard, build stuff, and changing tires and cutting grass. And I simply said, my daddy didn't raise no punk. Because I know a lot of heterosexual men don't know how to cut no grass, don't know how to change no tire, don't know. And you always said, figure it out, read a book, learn how to do it yourself. And I always had that philosophy, and I've always been able to keep that money in my pocket and build a wonderful business and a brand off of it. So I really thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in. And that's a wrap.
Oh, and so this is how you're creating when you're just.
Yes, we just
Oh.
pin, and then where we're pinning is when we eventually do the stitch. We can stitch those two together here. And let's pin
I
here.
need some dummies in my house.
Yes, dummies. Okay, dummies. Well, you had one. You divorced him. Now just playing.
I know. The shade. The shade.
Oh my
No,
god.
he's not a dummy. He's actually, we co-parent really well.
Oh, that's cute.
That's
So you got two baby daddies.
Bitch, two husbands.
Two. Well, okay. Well, baby daddies,
No,
husbands.
fuck that shit.
It's the
That
damn
means-
near the
no,
same
it's
thing.
the same. That means they proposed to you, bitch.
Well, true. Well, but you got them. You caught them. And
Do that again. That clap bitch.
right. Yeah.